Hello, people. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be watching us. This is Small Sports with Jesse. So, welcome once again. So, we're not going to stay too long in this edition. We're going to be reviewing what has been going on at the 2025 World Athletics, Championships in Tokyo. As you know, Africans have been doing really well. So we want to look at a few things. We will look at the table. We're going to see what's going on as per the medals that has been won. We're going to look at what is going on with the hottest country, to come through, for Africa, and that will be Botswana. And also, we'll be looking at things that they've done to turn. It's a tiny country, 2.5 million people, and suddenly they are getting more medals than Nigeria of 210 million, 220 million people. They are shining, they are flying. So um, we'll be reviewing that, and then we'll be going over to the CAF, World Cup 2026 qualifications. And we will look at what we need to do. We'll take a country. We'll be looking at Uzbekistan, and we'll be looking at what they did to get to where they need to get to, and why African countries need to wake up. So, without much further ado, let's get into it after the commercial. Okay, welcome back. So we'll be looking at the medal table. Um, as usual, Kenya is killing it. Right now, Kenya has 6 gold medals, 2 silver medals, and 2 bronze medals. So total so far as at this moment is 10 medals for Kenya. So we expect this. It's normal. Kenya is an athletic track and field powerhouse in Africa, in the world, globally. They do it. It's their thing. So they're close. They're followed, not even close. Kenya has got 10 medals, and Ethiopia they've got 0 gold medal, but they've got 2 silver medals and 2 bronze medals. So total so far is four medals in total. So if we look at the table, Kenya is the strongest African showing so far. They have wins in 1,500 meters. Faith Kipyegon, 3,000 meters steeplechase, Faith Cherotich, 5,000 meters, Beatrice Chebet, and women's marathon, Perez Jepchichi. So that's where all their gold medals, come from. And so they've got 1 silver, 2 bronze. So, yeah, so they've got 10 in there. And Ethiopia, like I said. Now, the country that I will be talking about, Botswana, they've got 2 medals already, and they are in the finals of, I think, 4x400 meters and 4x100 meters. So they still have a chance to win another medal. Tanzania has got a gold medal, and that is by Alphonse Simbu in the men's marathon. And Nigeria, just that solitary silver medal, and that is by who we expected to get us the medal anyway, Toby Amusan. So Toby Amusan got a silver medal in women's 100 meters hurdles. So, but what we're going to talk about is Botswana. This country still baffles me with how they've turned out, how they've become, how they are now becoming a global powerhouse in world athletics. Uh, the guy that's my backdrop, his name is Busang Colin Kebinashipi. Kebinashipi surprised everyone. 400 meters, he just threw to the gold medal, and that's it. So it was a good thing to see. It was a good thing to see. And Bayapo Ndori. Bayapo Ndori is his teammate, won the bronze. He was narrowly pipped to the bronze. It could have been, you know, the gold and the silver for the Botswanans. So this is a country that we all need to see. What are they doing right that's giving them all of this, accolades? So we will look at what they've done, that countries, especially a country that is well known like Nigeria, can learn from. So if you look at North Africa, they've not really got athletic talent that can, in the sprints. So obviously, um, they won a silver medal, but that is in the long distance running as well. And sometimes they do get these long distance runners because of the climate and the environment they come from. So but that is not regular. They don't do it like the East Africans, the Tanzanians, the Kenyans, the Ethiopians. They don't do it like those guys, the Eritreans. So West Africa has always done really well, especially Nigeria. So we really don't understand how, you know, a lack of good system has affected athletics in West Africa. And it has to do with a couple of things. So it's not just one thing. It has to do with political interference. It has to do with corruption. It has to do with um, lack of infrastructure and lack of focus, and also putting squat pegs in round holes. I think we've had quite a lot of that. People who are not qualified get to run these associations, the sporting associations, and of course they don't know what they're doing, and you know they do the opposite of what they are expected to do. So we can see that is going on in every sphere of life. In Nigeria, for instance. So let's look at what Botswana have done really well. Now, what you see with Botswana this year is not an accident. They have built a reputation over the last 2 decades. They've also been punching above their weight. They've produced stars like Amantle Moncho, uh, Nigel Amos, and Isaac Makwala. And in recent times, they produced Leslie Tebogo. So Leslie started as okay, is he gonna make it? Is he not gonna make it? 3 years ago, and suddenly he became the hottest property in Africa, and then he started challenging the Jamaicans and the Americans. So all of the focus was on Tebogo to do really well at these championships, but unfortunately, he jumped the gun and he didn't do well in the 100 meters. And so we hope that he's going to do well in the relays. But that is where we were, and suddenly there's this guy that's called Kevin Ashipi just came out of nowhere. But it didn't really come out of nowhere. Now, the Botswana government or the sports association, they have what you call early talent identification. So they use the school's sports systems. You know, uh, Athletics is firmly embedded into the Botswana school curriculum. So they have these inter-house, inter-school competitions uh, from primary through to secondary schools, just like they do in Jamaica, just like Nigeria used to do back in the days that it produced all of these, sporting stars. They form the backbone of talent sporting, and the sports associations are always there to look at who is the oldest talent that is coming through in all of these school, competitions. So the Botswana, Sports Association has integrated sports strategy. So the body runs school competitions that have unearthed many, stars. So they send out scouts and coaches to these events to look at all these promising athletes, and then also aggregate their names where they fit into in the national plan. How do they progress? So they integrate their training and all of that. So they don't stop at that. What they also do really well, yeah, it's the Botswana Athletics Association. They have a program for national coaching and training support. So they do that across all of the cadres of sports, of athletics in Botswana. So you can imagine that if there are coaching philosophy, it goes from the grassroots all the way to the top. And they don't also they organize national trials just like every other association. And now what they do is they invest money in sending their coaches abroad to do some kind of specialized training. Not only do they send the coaches to learn the latest cutting edge um, information or skills in the game, they also send all their athletes. They send the athletes that they expect will become world beaters. They send them out there, you know, to challenge themselves with the world's best. So that means they're not using the money or the resources that is available, on doing things that are not in sync with the strategy and the vision of the Botswana Athletics Association. So, for instance, we know that Moncho was always training in Dakar's High Performance Center in Senegal. So imagine going all the way from Botswana to Dakar, where they have these facilities and coaching, abilities. So also in Botswana, um, they are upgrading their facilities, to make them become high performance facilities. The national stadium in Gaborone and the regional centers. So they have it in the national center, regional center, and they coordinate everything together. So if you go back to Nigeria, we were doing a story. We will still conclude that story. If you go to the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos, that is the spiritual home of Nigerian sports. Okay, I'm gonna check the chat room. Let's see what I've got. Uh, okay, this is from Kenny. It says no one sows orange and waits for apple harvest. Nigeria will continue to reap where it sows in sports. It's so competitive internationally in sports that any mediocre plans will always be exposed. That I agree with totally, totally. So it goes to the heart of what I've been saying. You go to the national stadium that in which Nigeria had played so many games, won so many medals in athletics, in football. That place is a ghost town as we speak. Now they built another uh, massive stadium in Abuja, the new capital. When they finished that stadium, it was one of the best in Africa. But if you go there today, it's a shadow of itself. It's almost nothing to write home about anymore. Not even a regional team or local football team is making use of that stadium on a regular basis. So it's become a white elephant project. So that's why all of the games that the Eagles have to play is moved to somewhere in Akwa Ibom, in the south of Nigeria. Imagine that the players fly into Lagos and all they have to do is play in Lagos. So this is what Botswana is doing and is working for them. And also, there's government and institutional backing for Botswanan sports. Uh, the Ministry of Youth, Gender, Sports and Culture provides funding, scholarships, and athlete support programs. Botswana National Olympic Committee works with the BAA to place athletes in international training camps and ensure Olympic preparedness. When last did you hear that Nigerian athletes are placed in international training camps? They're going to tell you they don't have money. So how shameful is it that the Nigerian Athletics Federation is banding words with one of the best talents, Toby Amushan, over flying business class? She's not even flying first class, for God's sake. She's flying business class. You mean this is your best foot forward in international athletics? This is your best talent. And you are proud that one of the best things you did for her was for her to fly on business class. Guys are flown business class. It's not that it's got a bit of leg room. Don't get me wrong. It's just more of the service that you get. You get the food before the guys on the back get it. That's it. First class is where you can actually stretch your leg and have the freedom, to do whatever you want to do. So, if the Nigerian Athletics Federation is coming out to say, "Oh, we did this for our best hope," going into a World Athletic Championships, you can already see a nation that, like Kenny said, a nation that is not serious. And people expect great things from Nigeria. So what we do get from Nigerian sports is this organic, mushrooming of talents. So when they come up, people pick them off, and that's it. Then we have to wait a long time, not because of deliberate and strategic, burdening, nurturing of talent to actually produce stars year in, year out. We don't do that. This is what Botswana is doing. Now, there's tertiary scholarships. So talented athletes are often receive scholarship to study and train locally or abroad in Botswana. International exposure, the regional competitions, they take it really seriously. The Africa Junior Championships, they take it really seriously. They send their guys in there. That's how they discovered Tobago. They don't joke with IAAF World Athletics programs. They're always there, and they always get all of these stars that have gone before them. They get them involved in the sport. So Amantle Moncho, it's been inspiring the younger generations. Nigel Amos, Amantle Moncho was the world champion 400 meters in 2011. So he was the first to prove that Botswana could produce global champions. Then came Nigel Amos. He was Olympic silver medalist, 800 meters in 2012. That was the London Olympics. It showed that Botswana can compete with traditional powerhouses like Kenya and Ethiopia. 800 meters, long distance. And then we had Leslie, Tobago became world junior champion, 100 meters and 200 meters. And now is a senior medalist. So, and the pipeline did not stop there. It's now produced another world champion that's called Busan Colin Kebnashipi. So, corporate and community support. I've often said it because my background is marketing and branding. You need to allow both to meet so that you can get the resources and the support that you need for the sport. So companies like Botswana, the diamond mining company, if you live in Nigeria, Botswana is much more like your NNPC, or it could be like the Angolan Oil Corporation. So, they are massive. They've got these revenues and they put it into good use. Apart from the government spending, money is coming from the commercial activities of these guys as well. So, and local sponsors, they channel the money to do what is meant to do. So how can they not keep, making sure that the talent chain keeps churning out fantastic, athletes. How can they not? So that's it. Let's quickly, go on a commercial break, and then we'll come back and discuss football. So, welcome back. Let me quickly show you what's been going on. So, a lot of Nigerians have been going into overdrive because they believe that the FIFA this week said they were going to look into the South Africa's fielding of an ineligible player. So if they carry that through, that means they might deduct 3 points from the South Africans. And where does that leave Nigeria? I'm afraid it doesn't leave us anywhere much. So if you look in Group A, Egypt is as good as qualified. Senegal. So we've got a fantastic article on Facebook where you can see uh, um, Zaire, now called Democratic Republic of Congo, Congo Democratic Republic. It's called COD here. They were leading the group with a match. The last match they played was on their home turf, and if they had won that match, they would just be a leg in 2026 World Cup. But they could still qualify, but I don't see them overhauling the Senegalese, who are football powerhouses in Africa now. So yeah, they're as good as qualified. Now this is where Group C is where the whole thing is. If you take 3 points away from uh, from Republic of South Africa, they will be reduced to 14 points, and they will be on the same level with Benin Republic, and that will mean that they're just one match difference between them and Nigeria. So if they lose one match, and Nigeria wins, so it cannot get dicey. So anyone could qualify to that group. Cote d'Ivoire. No, this is not Cote d'Ivoire. This is a Cabo Verde, Cape Verde. So they have 19 points. They are almost home. So if you go here, Morocco is as good as qualified. I think they've qualified already. Cote d'Ivoire just needs one more match or two matches, and they will qualify. Algeria almost, qualifying. Tunisia, I think, already qualified. So Ghana is leading here, so I don't see any reason why Ghana is not going to qualify. So that is where we are. So now, why would a country like Nigeria, continue to languish? Oh, okay. Abiola has made a statement here. It says, shadow is an understatement. The National Stadium as Surulere is an eyesore. Pepper soup sellers have taken over the stands. All the sports federations in Nigeria are run by incompetent people with zero vision for sports development. I do agree with you 100%. 100%, mate. I agree. So let's look at a country that Nigeria or any other African country that wants to do really well might look at. So let's look at a country called Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is an Asiatic, country, that borders around, Russia, Tajikistan, all of that, pocket between Asia and Europe. And they did not qualify, for World Cup. They've not qualified. So their closest, chance at qualification was in 2022. And they got really close, but they still fell short. So they set a goal. The FA set a goal that 2026 World Cup, they want to qualify. They did not just mouth it. They did not just say it. What did they do? First thing they did was made a statement of intent. 2026, we will qualify for the 2026 World Cup. So the Uzbekistan Football Association, UFA, went into overdrive to work, not to talk, not to steal money, not to siphon money like we do in Africa. We have to say. So what they did basically was, let's say, they made infrastructural investments. So they invested in modernizing the Dostlik Stadium in Tashkent. Tashkent is the capital of Uzbekistan. They installed floodlights to meet international standards, and they provide better facilities for training and actual matches. They went to the other stadium as well. They got another stadium called Beyond Core Stadium, a key venue in Tashkent as well. It underwent renovations to enhance its capacity and facilities, supporting domestic league matches and international fixtures. So they got the local, the local fans involved. Because, the problem with Eagles was when they were playing in the past and when they were playing in Lagos or when they were playing in all of these areas, there was a connection between them and the fans. When they come around, they know the stands, they know where the ultras will stay, they know which stand some fans will be. So when you know your fans, when you get into the match arena, the match day, you really don't want to mess up their feelings. So you want to perform for them. That is the connection that happens between players, and the fans. You can see it in all the stadiums, especially Anfield, when Liverpool is playing Champions League. So you can see that. So the next thing after the infrastructural develop investments, they invested in human capital. So the Uzbekistan Football Association focused on improving coaching standards. They provided advanced training and certification programs for coaches, ensuring a higher quality of coaching at all levels, from the kindergarten levels to the mid levels and to the senior levels. They did not stop at that. They brought reforms to the Uzbek Super League. That is a league of that country. So they introduced reforms to the league, aiming to increase its competitiveness and attract better talent. There was a time that Ghanaians, Cote d'Ivoire players, Benin players, even Congolese player, no, I don't think South African player, they were all playing in the Nigerian league. And the league was going places. Who remembered Edward Anza of Leventis Football Club? So we've got all of these, um, things that people were now saying go back to. It's not like Nigeria do not have it. We always had it. Then suddenly corruption crept in and everything fell flat on its face. Now, what the Uzbeks did was these reforms included improving club facilities and increasing financial support for clubs. A lot of these clubs, they're struggling. They're being sponsored by an individual. If you've got money and money is coming into the system, why are you not helping this? At least if you don't need to give them money. If you look at where they're playing, the facilities that they've got, how can you help them improve it? How can you help them improve? Do you even send off coaches, refereeing, for instance? We did a piece where we look at refereeing in Africa. It was back in the 80s and early 90s that Nigerian referees were respected or got, opportunity to referee high caliber matches. Since that time, no. Benin Republic's very small countries, even South Sudan, they're producing fantastic referees now. What happened to everything that Nigeria stood for? So one thing that the Uzbek, Football Association also did was go into strategic partnerships. I've always said that here, strategic partnerships, collaborations with organizations like UZOM, another big, massive national company in Uzbekistan, was established to develop football infrastructure expand youth programs, and support the national team in preparation for international competitions. So all of these concerted efforts in infrastructural development, human capital development, domestic league development were instrumental in the rise of Uzbekistan football. And what did it deliver to them? It delivered World Cup qualification. Nigeria is struggling. I do not think Nigeria is going to go to the World Cup. Uzbekistan, far below the FIFA rankings of Nigeria, is going to the World Cup. So talent is not going to lead you there. Talent alone is not going to lead you there. It's organization, focus, and vision that's going to get you there. So I don't want to waste your time. Let's quickly review let's see what's going on with the EPL. As you see, Liverpool, 15 points. 15 points from how many games? 15 points from 5 games, right? So that's it. If you don't take your chances, oh, everybody's been saying, oh, it's been luck, it's been that. But you have to take your chances. You have to ride your chances. And 15 points on the table does not lie. Right now, look at what is happening to Chelsea. That is what is happening to Chelsea. So Robert Sanchez, the goalkeeper, got a red card earlier on in the game. I didn't think it was his fault. It's a slippery, ground out there. It's wet, it's raining, it's pissing down. So it's just unfortunate, but they're 2-0 down. Also, their star player, Cole Palmer, had to go off. I think is a recurrent of the hip injury that he had before. So that is what is happening at the moment. Manchester United are leading Chelsea 2-0. Who would have, thought that? Who would have believed that? But it is what it is. So let's check the table. The table is there. So Tottenham Hotspur is following Liverpool, and tomorrow Arsenal plays Man City. Let's see where Man City is on the table. Man City is 11th on the table, so they won 2, lost 2. If they win tomorrow, it will take them 9 points, down there. So if Arsenal loses tomorrow, they will be 6 points. 6 points below Liverpool with just 5 matches played. You need to keep that in mind. If they win, they get 3 points, take them to 12 points, so they will be just 3 points behind Liverpool. If they drew, they will be 5 points. Or if they draw, sorry, they will be 5 points, behind Liverpool. So it's going to be interesting how this, season shapes up. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. So before I leave you, let me check the we've got more comments. Thank you for joining me and making all of these comments. I do appreciate them. You need to keep them coming, and don't forget, you need to share what we're doing, share it with your friends, share it with family members, because really it's only on More Sports that you can get detailed, well-researched articles that delves into African sports. And we also give you regular sports. We cover all of the events, whether it's World Athletic Championship, whether it's the Women's AFCON. And we also cover boxing. We cover all types of sports. All our people are there making sure that we have all these materials to let you feel what is going on. So if you are with More Sports, you see that you get a lot of resources, a lot of news, a lot of stories coming from multiple African countries. That is because that is what we celebrate. We celebrate African and Black sports. Even if it's Black sports in Europe, America, we want to showcase it. So that's what we stand for. So Fede said that's true. Yes, I'm glad my beloved Man United is winning. Man United up to 9th on the table. I do agree with you. You know, you have suffered for quite a while under Amorim, and I don't think Amorim is going to lead you anywhere. But if you keep, taking these points, it's there for the taking. So hopefully you're able to keep that 2-0 and then win the match. See how the match is only first half. There's still 45 minutes more to go. So before I leave you, I would like to point to you in the direction of some of the articles we have on our Facebook page. Um, I think uh, we've got uh, this article, Mobutu Steam, Our Politics and Pressure on Deed, Zaya's 1974 World Cup debut. So read it, share it with your friends, share it with family. This is the sort of things we love to do to get into the intersections of where sports meet the social order, governance, where it meets politics, and then let you see a story from multiple, angles, and there's other stories on it. Somebody was saying it that I didn't know Zinedine Zidane as a son who is a goalkeeper. That is the sort of thing that we like to, unearth, for you guys, to let you see. That is Mohamed Kudus, he helped the Tottenham guys fight back to 2-2, at Brighton. And also this Ghanaian brother that is doing, Henry Ado, that is doing fantastic thing, gifting, a coach, to his former team in Africa. And then Tolu Arokodare was on a losing hand. They lost 3-1 to Leeds in his match. I do hope that he picks, up and starts scoring. And then we have the stories. And then there's another story there that I really want to tell you about. Look, the Kenyans are doing really well. Of course, Kosafa, finals, I think it was being won by South Africa. Now, considering all of the resources that they've got, you don't expect anything less. And also, Kenya's Wanyonyi, added to, the medals, that Kenya has amassed. This story, FIFA Under 20 World Cup, the historical series, that's what you need to see. So I think that is where we'll have to end uh, today's broadcast. Uh, uh, okay. Thank you, Fede. You said, yes, these articles are very interesting and educative. Uh, he said, your beloved Man U is winning. Yeah, so I do hope and wish Man U all the best. Liverpool, we're top of the table. What can we do? We just have to look down on you guys and say, come up here. So I do hope you have a fantastic weekend, the rest of the weekend, and I do hope you have a fantastic week ahead. Sorry, our live stream has not been regular. That's because we're working overtime, on all of our platforms. But we will be coming to you as often as we can. So do have a fantastic weekend and enjoy the rest of your day.